Hi, how are you doing? I'm just going to do a little blurb on the Meghan the Stallion trial. She was shot in the foot, and the question is, who did it? Initially, when I heard of this case, I was told it was a gunshot wound to the foot. Then there became some confusion, and people were saying that she stepped on glass. She wasn't shot. Well, that didn't make any sense because it's very easy for medical personnel to tell the difference between a gunshot wound in the foot versus glass cutting the foot. So I was very aware that a publicity team was trying to smear Meghan and deny that she was even injured by somebody. Well, it seems that they were returning from a party, and I guess everybody left the party at Kylie Jenner's house but Tory. Meghan was in the car with her assistant, and she decided that she had to go back to Kylie's house because she said she left a shoe at Kylie's and she wanted to get it right away. So they went back to Kylie's house, and Tory was in the house with Kylie. So I assume Tory was trying to hit on Kylie. He wanted to be in the house alone with Kylie and her security. When Meghan came back to the house for her shoe, Kylie told everybody they had to leave. And so they were all scooted out of Kylie's house and got into the car. Then the story went that Meghan said something negative about Tory's singing and that Tory got mad. Meghan was getting out of the car, and that's when they claimed she stepped on glass, but she claimed she found she had a gunshot wound to her foot. So, as confusing as all this is, the trial was even more confusing. It seems that they had narrowed down to 4 people. They had determined that no one shot Meghan from a nearby area in the city. There were no flying bullets in that area. Somebody who was a witness claimed he saw the little guy, Tory, shoot Meghan. The only other people at the scene were the chauffeur, Tory, Meghan's assistant, Kelly, and of course Meghan. We can assume the chauffeur was not out there shooting Meghan in the foot. We can assume Meghan did not shoot herself in the foot, and in fact there are pictures of Meghan outside of the car appearing to back slowly away from the car after she had been injured. So we're left with 2 people, Tory and Kelly. Kelly, after the incident, when the police picked her up and questioned her, gave a very detailed story as to what happened, and she said that Tory shot Meghan. He was in the front passenger seat. Meghan said that Tory shot her. Then a lot of fans are saying that it must have been Kelly because she's jealous of Meghan, and they had both slept with Tory. Well, that was confusing. I didn't know anything about that relationship, but after I heard a rendering of what Kelly said to the police after she was taken in for questioning, Kelly was very clear, spelled it out. She was very organized, she was very cooperative, and it seems she was telling the truth. Now, if we go to her day in court when she was supposed to testify, then she claimed a lot of things that she couldn't remember, and she wasn't as helpful, even changed part of her story. To me, it seemed as if she had been threatened and was afraid to testify, probably fearing for retaliation from some rappers who were trying to protect Tory. The chauffeur, who was a witness, was an employee of Tory. Now, he would seem to be very cooperative, because if you were employed by Tory, you would really want to come in and say that Tory did not shoot Meghan, and that way your boss would be in the clear. But he was not around, and they could not find him to testify. So that fit in with the scenario that something was wrong, and he was afraid to come into court and say what really happened, which meant he was afraid to testify against his boss. That was my assumption. There were also people saying that Tory was going around trying to influence jurors, and also I think somebody said he was buying food for people in the courthouse or something strange. So I think when you're in court, you've committed a crime and you are facing 22 years in jail, I think you should be very, very serious. There were people saying that he was doing TikToks or making up songs or something about the shooting, and all of this looks very negative for Tory. Then the media said that Tory even did an apology email to Meghan, and they said there was nothing that he could have been referencing except apologizing to Meghan for shooting her. I did not see the email, but that all fits in with what I had found to be my analysis of this case. So I felt all of the evidence was pointing to Tory, and since there were only two people there, one of them was going to be found guilty. The prosecution did not feel they wanted to try to pin it on Kelly, the assistant, and so since the prosecution had kind of written her out, the evidence seemed to be falling more so against Tory. I didn't feel they were going to have a hung jury because the accident or incident was so serious. Meghan is a dancer. She needs that foot. That's how she earns her money. She's a big girl, and she puts a lot of weight on that foot. So having an injured foot, a foot that's shot, is going to be a problem with her in her career. It's going to be a problem with her healing, and she will probably have pain for the rest of her life in one way or another from this gunshot wound to her foot. So it's a very, very serious injury. So I was always convinced that Tory was the shooter, and after the trial there are pictures of Tory's father and his wife, who is the stepmother to Tory, talking about all kinds of people, Jay-Z and all kinds of people who are not really relevant in this case. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there. I agree that Tory was guilty, and there are some videos on the internet where people have done extensive reporting on what happened in the courtroom, which you can follow if you want to hear very detailed reports. But I agree with the verdict, and he is facing 22 years, and then after he finishes, he will be deported to Canada. So, what do you think about this trial? And do you agree that Tory was the shooter? Let me know. Please like and subscribe. Bye.